We have a quorum. Yep. We have 9.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Of course, we're here in the Jane Campbell Chambliss meeting room here at the Bush Annapolis Library, and it's a little bigger than some of the other spaces that we've been in most recently. So just make sure that anybody who's speaking just speaks up just a little bit to make sure that everything's being picked up on the mic. So I wanted to welcome again. This is our first full board meeting since Skip has announced his retirement. So I know I speak for the entire board when I say that, Skip, we congratulate you on your upcoming retirement, and we really thank you for your incredible work at the library since 2010. So if you all will indulge me, can we all get a round of applause for
You look ridiculously happy.
I was thinking a long time ago, but I'll be happier even more.
I thought we were going to vote on making him sign a 4-year.
Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So of course we do have Skip for nearly a year with his official retirement being in February. So, but I just wanted to, just been thinking about his retirement, want to at least acknowledge some members of the executive search firm who are here with us, just to bring just a few welcoming or introductory remarks. June Garcia LLC is the name of the search firm that we're working with, and June herself is here, as well as Sally Feldman. You want to just give a few words of introduction?
Sure. This morning when I was chatting with Skip, he said, we have a board meeting this afternoon. Maybe you'd just like to log on and say hi. And so we don't have any prepared remarks. We're both really looking forward to working with you on this, despite the fact that we're both happy for Skip and sad for you that he's leaving. So I've been involved with executive searches. I've done over 100 of them in the past 25 plus years. And it's only a small part of the consulting that I do. And we're looking forward to working with you, learning more about you. It's been a long time since I did any searches in Maryland. I did 2 searches for Baltimore County, after 1996, and then another 15 years or so after that. So, but Sari and I are looking forward to learning more about you and working with you on the process. We're going to be in person with you in third week, I think, in April. And then we're also looking at the on-site interviews in October. So we have plenty of time to get the word out, to do a sort of a very conscientious search, and then make sure that we have someone ready to go after the first of the year when Skip retires. And I'm glad we do have that time, because as you can imagine, it's very difficult to recruit sometime basically between Veterans Day and after the first of the year. People aren't focused on moving into a different position at that point. They're just trying to get through all the holidays and the new year. So just as a little bit of background, I am a public librarian. I've been one for a long time. You may detect some East Coast in the accent. I'm actually from suburban Philadelphia, New Jersey. Before I went to Phoenix, where I was head of branches for a number of years, director in San Antonio, ran a computer company here in Denver, which is how I ended up in Denver. And then for the past 24 plus years, I've been doing full-time consulting. Past president of the Public Library Association and active in ALA. And so I'll introduce my colleague, Sari, who will introduce herself.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sari, you're on mute.
unmute because I'm not alone in this apartment here. I'm very excited to be working on this search. I've long admired Skip's work and certainly your library system, so it really will be a pleasure. We won't replace Skip, but we'll find you the next best director. I've been working with June for about 3.5 years. I retired as the executive director of the Cuyahoga County Public Library in 2019. That library system is in Ohio. And I've been very active in the profession. I'm a past president of the Public Library Association, a past president of the American Library Association. I serve as a policy fellow for the American Library Association Washington office. And I also serve on the corporate board of Overdrive, which I'm sure is your provider for some, if not all, of your digital content, like the Libby app. I live in New York City. As I said, I remain very active in the profession, so I think June and I will be able to do the right kind of outreach for a successful pool of candidates.
We'd be happy to answer any questions you might have for us, or try to answer them to be more precise.
Questions at this point? I will be mentioning more about the CEO search process later in my chair's report, but anyone doesn't, if we're good now in terms of questions. Thank you so much, June and Sari. I definitely appreciate that you were able to join us today, especially at last minute.
Okay, so we'll log off now and say thank you.
Nice to
Thanks
meet
a lot.
you
Bye-bye.
in April.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So now I will turn the floor over to Diane Benner, who's the branch manager here, and she'll bring welcoming remarks as well.
Thank you for being here this afternoon, and welcome to the Michael E. Bush Annapolis Library. I've been the branch manager here since July of 2021. I've been with AACPL since 2013. The branch reopened in July of 2020, built on the original site of the 1965 building. We are a very busy branch with lots of programs and services for all ages, and lots of partnerships. One example of a partnership that's going on right now is the AARP tax preparation, which is a free service to our residents. Last year, they helped over 600 people prepare taxes. They're here 4 days a week, serving appointments. Some unique features to our building are our native gardens, our music children's garden, our gallery wall, Maryland history collection, makerspace, driver simulator, and various community spaces and collaboration spaces. New to our branch is a health to go vending machine, which is a partnership with the county health department. We are going to be one of the 50 sites on the Be Revolutionary American 250 Exploration Trail. The banner is actually behind you. It'll be posted this weekend. You scan the QR code, interact, explore, and win prizes. In late summer, we will unveil an outdoor Malcolm X Memorial organized by the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Committee and the AACPL Arts Advisory Committee. So thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting the library.
Question, what's a health vending machine?
The vending machine, it's right out in the lobby by the holds, and it has things like Narcan, fentanyl test strips, COVID masks, or COVID tests, masks, some toiletry kits,
Oh, okay.
various lock bags for medication.
Any other questions for Diane? Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and I wanted to just welcome Darren Burns too, just our board council is here.
Nice to see you all.
Alright, so let's move on to the adoption of the agenda. Are there any corrections or additions to the agenda? All right, if there are no objections, I'll go ahead and say that the agenda is adopted. Moving on to the approval of minutes from our past meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? So being that there are no objections, the minutes are approved as they are. And we can move on then to our public comment. We do have one member of the public who has joined us today, and we'll go ahead and give her 3 minutes. And
Hi,
if you don't mind
thanks.
introducing yourself. And
Sure, I just want to be sure to get close enough to that microphone.
Absolutely.
There we go, okay. Greetings, members of the board and the public joining. My name is Nicole Dvorak. I'm a former Baltimore County Public Library Union Executive Board member, and I was on the first union contract negotiating team in 2022 on behalf of hundreds of staff at BCPL. I have testified at Anne Arundel County public budget meetings for the past 3 years in support of Anne Arundel County public library workers. I'm also someone who has submitted public information act requests to your library system for various documents, including employee salary information and invoices related to your payments to an infamously expensive and infamously union busting firm for labor relations. In December of 2023, based on data that I've accumulated, your library CEO was the highest paid public library system director in the entire state with a salary of $245,000. The current salary for the county executive is $140,000, and even though that will be raised to $180K later this year, that's still considerably less than your library CEO. I would love to see a public justification for that salary, and I would love for all of you to explain why at the same time in 2023 you were paying some full-time library staff as little as $38,000 a year. What is the justification for such flagrant worker exploitation? The county does have the money, and you do apparently, since you paid Venable at least $170,000 for their services to treat staff in negotiations like they don't deserve basic dignity or robust anti-discrimination protections. Last year, I heard that some library administrators, not necessarily including your own, but just in general, in Maryland lobbied state-level elected officials to make sure that public library workers would not be covered by the Public Employee Relations Act and to not be able to go to the Public Employee Relations Board for recourse. I look forward to this board providing both written and public testimony actually supporting that. And I'm very interested in where your public testimony is for House Bill 1492, a current bill that your board member, Delegate Baylor, has co-sponsored, which would give public library workers the right to strike. According to Maryland state law, boards of library trustees are legally responsible for operating public library systems, which means you're responsible for hundreds of employees' mental and financial health as well as community health. Maryland Governor Wes Moore has stated, quote, "I come from a union family. My father's union stepped up and supported my family after my dad died. I have seen the critical role of good union jobs to create opportunity and stability for families and communities. You will not continue to harm workers or unions, and library workers across the state will make sure that state funding is not awarded to your library system or any other system if you continue to undermine the health of staff." I look forward to union workers being included in the search for the next executive director. Thank you.
thank you for your comments. All right, so moving on to our reports of our officers, liaisons, and executive leadership. Just put my report here. All right, so again, as I'd stated in my welcome, we do have the CEO search committee moving forward with the process of finding the new CEO for Anne Arundel County. So we had the opportunity to meet just last week for the first time and got a chance to meet with the search firm at that time. And so I know that you all have not only seen the email, but also responded in terms of when we as a board can all come together and do the interviews with the finalists for the position. And so we have selected, just based on the responses, Friday, October 23rd as the day that, again, we'll all come together and meet with 3 to 4 of the finalists and do interviews at that time. And then that would be where we would be able to select based on the recommendations of the search committee, that final CEO. So I just want to just publicly thank also all of the members of the CEO search committee. Jana Lane Smith, who's the chair, Barbie, serving on the committee as well. I'm serving on the committee. Chris Nelson, Faith, Lonnie, who's joined us virtually, Jeremy, and Jane Campbell-Chambliss, the foundation board president, is actually serving as an ex officio non-voting member. So she's also going to be helping us to vet the candidates and make sure that we bring forward the best candidates for finalists, and then we as a board then would select the final CEO. So thank you for all of your service so far, and then certainly the hours and time that you would spend on this really important process moving forward. So I wanted to just thank the search committee. I wanted to also just draw your attention to the second page of our agenda for today, where we've got some upcoming events. Wanted to especially make mention of the Library Giving Week, April 1st through 8th. So tonight's board social, as you know, is an early opportunity to give. So you've all got the QR codes here to make it easy for you if you have not already given. So certainly I would like to thank anyone who's already given, ahead of Library Giving Week, anyone who's giving tonight, and certainly anyone who is giving during April 1st through 8th. It just, it helps us to, as a board, to be able to support these giving opportunities and really share with our networks as well. These giving opportunities exist. So thank you again for all your support on that. So I just wanted to, we don't have Dylan here, but I did want to at least just see if anyone has any updates that they'd like to share on the Adopt a Library program. Any visits to your local branches? Yeah. Oh. Go ahead.
I visited Smyrna Park early February and took a little tour of the Hughes Corner, kind of coming together. So they have like a new kitchenette little area, things that they're trying to do to make it more fun for the little ones. They're very excited about that. That same night, they had also had a very robust group of about 70 people who came for a Lego event. So that was, they were bursting at the seams that night.
I can imagine.
And then I worked with Chris Maslogda from the foundation board, who was also assigned to that branch, and we kind of worked with Samantha's line and kind of brainstormed what would be most appropriate to present to the staff as like a thank you ahead of Library Giving Week, and say, hey, we appreciate you, what you're doing. And they requested some fun coffee things. So we got some like syrups, seasonal creamers, biscotti, all the good fun stuff, just as like a little basket of say, hey, thank you. Hopefully this helps you keep going, with your coffee and stuff like that. More than just the typical break room fare. Yeah. They really appreciated that, little things like that. So, yep, that's it.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I was able to visit Severn on Friday. Had a great visit with Ellie, the branch manager. If you haven't been to Severn recently, it looks really good on the inside. The renovations are great. It's an older library. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. So mark your calendars for October 26th. They're going to be having a party. So that was cool. It was very, very lively at the library. There was a yoga event featuring toddlers. I did not take part in that. Maybe that's something to check out. But one thing that came up in my conversations with Ellie is, for those of you who aren't aware, Severn is unique in the sense they get money from the local development council, which is essentially money from the Maryland Live Casino, which is dispersed through any sort of organization within a 3-mile area. So Severn is the only library within that 3-mile radius. So they've been able to get some really nice upgrades, furniture and some other things. We had Ellie was indicating that there may be an opportunity to kind of see if we could see how more of that LDC money could be dispersed throughout the library system, kind of using Severn as the funnel, so to speak. But there's a lot of funds there that if we can kind of think creatively where, Severn could kind of be the point of contact, but it may be resources that we could see spread out through all of the branches of the county. So there could be an exciting opportunity there. So, but if you go in, it really looks great. They'll be getting some new furniture and I think getting that top bar. and some other enhancements coming up. So it's a cool library. I like that library a lot. So.
Great, thanks, Tim. Any other update? Oh, yes.
Mine is so small, Jester, but I did some thank you treats, the adult cookies, sent them ahead. And I hope to show up there in April.
Oh,
I
nice.
talked to Michelle, so.
Yeah.
And also, I just did an email notice. That's it right now. If it stops
Eastport
snowing,
Library?
Eastport. Hopefully it won't snow anymore.
Nice, exactly. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, this is Laura. I did manage to visit Lithicum. It was my second or third time there. And I did a special thank you, love your library for them. The branch manager had been out sick, so I haven't met her officially. But since Severn is closer to where I live and I'm really close to that library, Ellie did introduce me to the person at Lithicum electronically. I haven't been able to get back over there, but it's a nice library and I live within the 3 miles of the casino. So we definitely want to make sure we have funds for Severn, which is a small library, but Lithicum is not open on Sundays, which, I guess only half of the libraries are open on Sundays, but it was a good visit. And I enjoy going there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else have an update? Awesome. Great. Thank you all for doing that. That I think it's just a really good part of the meeting to be able to kind of hear what folks are doing with the libraries. It's really empowering. So I will turn it over back to Tim for the treasurer's report.
Sure. Great. We seem to be on track for in terms of our finances. In February, we anticipated receiving and expending about 67% of our budgeted revenues, and to date, we have received 67% of revenues and spent 62% of expenditures. So we are on track. There is a variance due to the horrible snow. We blew through our budget with snow removal. And so that is a line item that you see is over budget. So Cedric and his team have requested some fourth quarter funding to offset those additional costs. And we've received some positive feedback that will come through. So that's good. Also, staff met with the county executive office on Monday. This was sort of the last group of meetings to try to get some of our key requests from the budget over the line. The main thing is our cost of living adjustment, of course, and merit increases that are in line with our collective bargaining agreement. Hope to get that through. As you know, we are always putting in requests for various positions. One big one is a maintenance mechanic. I think we've been asking for this person for years. But that's another thing that they emphasized since we've been seeing a much expanded library footprint and maintenance increases. So the final budget recommendations will be submitted by the county executive to the county council on May 1st. And we'll see how it goes from there.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Tim? Moving on to the liaison to the foundation board, Noah, you want to put that report?
I'll take this moment since I have the floor to apologize in advance. I'm going to have to leave at about 50 after to go get my son from school. All right, so as ever, the full foundation report is in the meeting book. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights here. And the first highlight is one that Damita already mentioned, that Library Giving Week starts on April 1st. And supports the summer program, Summer at Your Library programs. This year's theme is Libraries Put the Free in Freedom, and there are apparently shirts available for purchase, so you'll want to get on that. Please donate. You can also volunteer to table at a branch with foundation members, so there are various opportunities to be involved. The foundation board met in January and approved a bylaw change to add a student member. The foundation student member will serve a one-year term that aligns with the foundation's fiscal year. The foundation board's annual year-end meeting and celebration is coming up. That's Tuesday, June 16th. Trustees, did we already get that invitation? If not, I think it's forthcoming, but we will. And then the foundation, to hit some highlights of things completed, the foundation was proud to sponsor the Maryland Library Association's Legislative Day on February 10th at the state capitol. More than 15 library leadership, staff, trustees, and foundation board members attended, meeting with legislators in support of key initiatives. I love my library month. Also February, that was a huge success. The kickoff party at Firm was attended by more than 250 people. See what happens when you offer beer. And then for the love of the library, this is a mark your calendars. It's on the books for September 18th here. And as I think everybody knows, this is our largest fundraising event. Tickets will be going on sale in July, but sponsorships are available now. So if you're interested in that, talk to Kathleen, who's sitting over there. Did I hit the wave tops, Kathleen? Is there anything? No.
You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Any questions at all?
No, Kathleen and her staff did a good job on Tuesday's foundation board meeting of kind of walking us through what happens during library giving week, and if you are at a table at one of the libraries, what to do. She has a nice packet of information. I don't know if that's something you can share with folks, but just on like what to expect if you sit at a table and ask people for money. So.
Sure. What to expect, like it's hard to hear. So.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, your staff put together a really nice packet of, like, when you're sitting at the table during how to get people to come over. That's something you should share with everybody.
Yeah, I'll be happy. I'll email that out. The Library Foundation Board has been working on how to be better fundraisers, and so we are working on, you're either an asker, an advocate, or an ambassador, or you're all three. And so part of their training was putting it into place at Library Giving Week, and so I'll send it out. It's really simple document that just gives you tips and tricks on how to talk to our customers and to help you not feel so intimidated to ask people to give during Library Giving Week. So yeah, happy to do that. Sorry, I couldn't hear, so.
You're good.
Kathleen checked in at our board meeting Tuesday from the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I give her a lot of credit. It worked out great, but I know she was in vacation mode still. So.
Yeah. I sort of got stuck on my way back.
We're glad to have you back, Kathleen.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to Skip.
Okay, so I'm going to ask my team to make individual reports. I don't think everybody has an individual report, but I'd like to start with Rudy, and you go first.
The bulk of my first volume check, can you hear me okay? I'll take that as a yes.
Okay.
The support services reports in the book, one item that I want to highlight out of that is that we are proceeding with developing plans for the new library headquarters. As we mentioned earlier, we are moving into a leased space. The county real estate has identified a place for us on Aviation Boulevard, right across the street from the airport, right down from Royal Farms and Los Portillo's Mexican restaurant. So we're looking forward to that. If you're interested, the draft floor plans are right here. You can take a look at them later on. We are very confident that we're going to be able to get all library headquarters staff comfortably and suitably situated in a new space that will support their work. As we know, our current headquarters is too small for us. The building has got a lot of problems, and this moving us out of headquarters into a leased space opens up that building then for the county to repurpose for Braxton Park. That's the general plan right now. It looks like it's moving right along. Fingers crossed, all goes well, if we don't rise. Sometime near the end of the year, we'll be in the new space. And we'll keep you updated as we go along. Any questions?
Will this space also house foundation staff?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christine, are you ready for that report I asked you
Sure.
about? Okay, great.
I'm just going to move away from the noise. So I just wanted to share the recruitment process for not Skip's replacement, but the board seats that are going to be open, as well as the student board member position. So we had 25 students apply for the student member position, and we will be doing interviews next week for that. And we had 18 people apply for the full term positions. From across the county, we got a really great representation, I think. So we'll be doing those interviews the last week of March into April. So some great candidates. I'm sure you're going to be pleased with whoever gets selected because they're all very, very qualified.
Are they candidates, I know that in the past when we've interviewed candidates for the Board of Trustees, sometimes people who didn't get selected for that became candidates for the Foundation Board of Directors. Is there something like that in the works, do you know?
So I do share with Adeline people that I feel like might be a good fit for her board on a regular basis.
And is the Foundation Board actively recruiting right now?
Yes, and we don't have any positions available right now.
Okay.
We have a board interest list that we generate throughout the year, and the governance committee has been interviewing quite a few members, excuse me, quite a few prospective members, and they're doing their final interviews. So depending on what happens with the trustee applications, we would still like to look at that list, but there might not be a position till next year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I just had a question about the student
Yeah.
trustee. So 25 seems like a lot. Have we, is that a record for us so far?
That probably is a record.
That's amazing.
I will say we were getting toward the end of the deadline, and I should have listened to my gut that students all do things at the last minute. So we did a bit of an extra push, and so it generated a lot of interest.
Oh, that's amazing.
Including Abby Chan, who's the current member of the board, has applied to be a foundation board member.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do too.
Yeah, right.
I have no idea
Right.
what. The
Yeah.
interviews are, from our perspective, will be Don Rao and Vanessa Carter, I believe, are going to be assistant.
Yes, and Jim and Barbie and Rudy and I are doing the student members, and then the full term, I'll call them members, Jeremy and Simona and Jim and Rudy and I.
Awesome.
That's great.
Thank you.
And remind me, who are we replacing on what spots opened up on the trustee board? I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep you out already. I was just wondering who's up and who's.
And Ashani Gandhi has resigned.
I think that actually is new for a lot of people. Ashani's actually,
I didn't realize she was.
yeah, she just let us know between meetings. So she is moving to Austin for a lateral move with Amazon. So she did let us know early before it actually was finalized, but now it has actually been finalized. She was thinking she might be able to join us virtually, but I see that she hasn't been able to do that. So did want to just let folks know that.
Yeah, Tamita, I too will be leaving, but only after the search is complete. So I'll be retiring with Skip.
Okay. Thank you for
This is a brain drain we're gonna have to do this.
Oh wow, we gotta make a pub date or something. First time I met you, Chris, was while you were still president at St. John's, and we were at Galway Bay. So yeah.
First time I met you, you came in and asked me if I'd write a letter to the county executive to support a larger library.
Oh, okay.
For the
I think so. That's right.
Oh, that's
Yeah. And I did.
Then you went to pub. Okay. Good. And thank you for that. Yes. Okay, so just to wrap up our reports, yes, we've got this CEO search thing going on. I just wanted to kind of give you all some background on how this all came about. Back in December, well, first of all, back it up even a year before that, I've told any number of people that my retirement plan was the Ruth Bader Ginsburg retirement plan, and that's why my sister texted me this morning saying, I thought they were going to take you out of here feet first. So it just, back in December, I started thinking, this is a good time. This library system is in great shape. We've got We've got a great board. Hi, Abby, welcome.
Hi.
We've got a great board. We have a student trustee on our board from now. The foundation board is adding the student trustee. The executive team, including the people here and Kathy up on the screen, just fantastic. We have a great staff. We have 460 staff members, and they're just completely dedicated to the work they do. They love this community. They love their work. And so I just thought, you know, this is probably a good time. So Demita and Lonnie and I started talking in December. Soon after that, I started talking with Coven and Cedric, and we started looking into how we could get funding for the CEO search, and that is being recommended in the county executive's budget. And then we did a bidding process to get our search firm. So we, given that we expected it to be less than $100,000, we needed to send out 3 bids. So we did that, and Cedric and his team ran that process. You just met Jim Garcia and Sari Feldman. I didn't know Sari was part of that when we sent out for the Jim Garcia LLC. And that's just like a bonus because they're both great people. I've known June for a long time, Sari for not quite as long. But they have a very professional process they will be using. I'll describe a little bit of that in a minute. But we've been meeting. I met with June for about an hour and a half this morning. And what we did this morning is to plan out their visit here April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We're planning, I believe it'll be 3 meetings with staff that will be hybrid meetings at different branches. We're planning a hybrid meeting with this whole board, and we picked, the search committee picked Friday the 24th here for, I believe it's 12:45 to 1:45. Is that when you were available, Chris?
1:45 to 2:45.
Yeah, 1:45.
Yeah.
Okay, 1:45 to 2:45. So we're gonna but we're gonna extend it to 3:30. So that's when the board will be meeting here. So if you can't be in person, please plan to try to come in virtually through the Zoom link we'll have. We also will be having a staff survey and a customer survey. So the staff survey will go out to all staff following the meetings that are held in person and virtually. It'll be an opportunity for the consultants to ask various questions on like what is important in a new CEO. They have a list that they'll run by Demita and Jan Elaine before we finalize the questions. But they do not just. I mean, they'll ask the questions, but they'll allow for follow-up and all that. So there's a very interactive process with staff, and that's going to be where we have the most input, I think, other than potentially the customer input. But the customer input will be just from a survey. We're not going to have focus groups or something like that. Let's see. We're working out other meetings that week, but kind of I was working with June on exactly how we will schedule all of that. So that'll all be coming out later, and I'll be letting you all, Foundation Board and staff, know some of those details soon. The reason they're getting all of this input is to develop a leadership profile that will be part of a brochure that gets created after they've had all of these meetings. That brochure will be created in May. It'll be an online brochure, but we probably will also print some. Christine and her staff are going to be working on the design of that with photos and that type of thing. The idea is to show this community, to show it to potential candidates who don't know that this is their dream job that they might be looking for. And so, then there will be recruitment. The job applications will open on June the 15th and will close on August the 9th, which is a Sunday. So people will be able to apply during almost a 2-month period. The search committee will be reviewing applications on who should be interviewed. They'll make that recommendation. Then screening interviews will be held by Sari and June in sort of the weeks after that, leading to determining 3 finalist candidates to come in person on October 23rd, which we talked about before. So that's kind of an overview of the process. from my staff. Did I leave anything out that we've talked about? Okay. Any questions from anybody? Okay.
I will say, all my interactions so far with June Garcia herself, like she's amazing, she's top notch. We've got a top notch representative or consultant in Sari Feldman as well. So, I think we're definitely in good hands of people who've done this before, run over 100 searches from the June Garcia firm and other experience that June has had. And so really we couldn't really ask for a better firm, I would say, in looking for the new CEO. So that's going to be really great support for the CEO search committee and the work that we're doing to identify the finalists. So yeah, be assured we're in good hands.
Okay, that concludes my report.
Sounds good. Thank you, Skip. All right, so we can move on to our reports from our committees. Tim, I'll turn it back over to you for the Finance and Audit Committee.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. We had a pretty short meeting last time where we got an update on the budget process, which I went over, as well as a preview of the new headquarters as well. So, yeah, nothing new to report beyond the treasurer's report.
Awesome, great. All right, moving on to governance, strategy, and organization. I don't see Jim available. Is someone able to give a report from that committee?
I'll dig in.
All right.
There's a summary of the last committee meeting in the board book. There are two motions that the committee is proposing, and I'll read the first one. So on behalf of the Governance, Strategy, and Organization Committee, the committee moves to adopt the new privacy policy that was included in your board book. And coming from the committee, so no seconds required, and you open the discussion.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I always mess this up. You know this already. Do I ask for discussion? I want to open up for discussion. Anyone have any questions or? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to?
Sure. I'll read it out.
Yeah. Brief overview.
At the request of the State Librarian of Public Library Services, Public Library Systems, Throughout Maryland undertook a review of their privacy policy. The State Librarian shared a model policy which we have used as the baseline for the new proposed policy. So in your board book, you don't have a red line copy. The new policy is a brand new whole cloth, top to bottom revision. State Librarian, of course, is not the boss of us, but we ignore her recommendations at our peril. So we took her recommendation. We provided a new privacy policy. It's a clean document. Specifies that we hold bare minimum of customer information, and that we use it only for library purposes. We don't share it with any third party at all. And then we disclose only on court order by subpoena. That's a summary of the privacy policy. Yes, sir.
Question, are there any reservations expressed by members of the committee or the staff about the policy?
None, sir. It was a very short discussion. We did not get any feedback or any edits for the policy.
Any other questions? All right. So we can put it to a vote. All those in favor of adopting the privacy policy, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passed.
Thank you, ma'am. The second motion on behalf of the Government Strategy and Organization Committee, we move that the board approve the new freedom of read policy as included in your packets.
I'd like to open up for discussion.
Oh, okay, sorry. Again, at the request of the State Librarian, Public Library Systems throughout Maryland undertook a review of their collection development policies. The State Librarian specifically requested that this review look to incorporate the framework and language from the Freedom to Read Act, which became effective in March of 2025. So the new policy doesn't change anything that any specific actions that staff do to curate the collection. We're doing exactly the same thing, the exact same approach that we have had that we've done historically, even under the old policy. What we have done is quote right from the COMAR, right from the Freedom to Read Act, specific instances that the law asks, or actually requires the public libraries to do. And we put that language in the policy itself so that there's very clear connection between the policy and the law. We also retitled the policy from Collection Development Policy to the Freedom to Read. We felt that this would be a much more impactful, much more realistic way of looking at this policy, and that the public would be able to engage with it much more clearly than the previous policy had. There's a red line in your packet. Of course, the red struck out language is no longer effective, and the red underlined language is a new language. One other item that did change in the policy is that the law requires us to specify a process for reconsideration. So that's spelled out in the policy. And again, this is exactly what we do now. It doesn't change anything of our current procedures or practices. Are there any questions from the board?
I actually have a question about the human authorship. Is the standard section? Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Thank you. I apologize, I did leave out that. When the staff were reviewing the policy update, it arose that we should actually include some language about how we're going to treat AI authored materials. They're becoming much more prevalent. In fact, we have to be especially vigilant because we get recommendations on items that are entirely AI generated, and of course, now reflected in the policy is that we don't select those items. We only select items that are human authored.
And is this something that other libraries, this kind of language that they're adopting in their policies as well?
In a discussion earlier this month, public library administrators in Maryland asked about if we had had language, if anyone else had language, and we were able to offer this as a model language for everyone.
Oh, that's great.
And so there's a lot of discussion of it, across the profession, but specifically in Maryland, everybody is kind of trying to figure this out. But yeah, what we had here was able to be presented for. I think we put that forward to the listserv.
That's great.
It's a bit timely. If I can share an anecdote too.
Please.
Liz Sunderman, the director for public services at Enoch Pratt, the state library system. She had a contact with an author who is visually impaired. So what he has been doing is using AI to help generate content that he can then refine to help him as he fleshes out a sci-fi book. So he's getting ready to publish that book. We're very interested in seeing that. We will consider that for our selection now that we have this framework in our new collection policy.
That's great.
Yeah, if you can imagine trying to write, I don't know, I saw the comment too, and the person is blind, and I don't know if the person is blind from birth or later, but in order to develop visual descriptions, they're asking AI to help figure that out. So maybe even as much as 50% of the content of that book is AI generated, but it's kind of like our AI policy that the board adopted some time back. We require a human to review it and make sure it's their word. This is that person's book. It's quite a world we're entering. I'm getting out just in time.
Oh, boy. Any other questions before we put it to a vote? All right, so we'll go ahead and do the vote here. All those in favor of adopting the Freedom to Read policy, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Laura?
Aye.
Oh, you said aye, I'm sorry. Oh, Abby had a question, I'm sorry.
Just for clarification, how do you plan it, or how are we enforcing to make sure that the AI generated text is actually human reviewed before publication?
So we are relying on the fact that someone is taking responsibility, that a human person is taking responsibility for the work. That there's copyright that's going to a human person, that the human person has legal responsibilities, whatever they may be, to the publisher for that work. So we're treating it that way. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult for us to really go by and figure out which was, what came out of Quad or what came out of a word processor. But as long as we can attach a human authorship to it, that's going to be our metric.
Additional question.
Please, yeah.
Rudy, we discussed this in the committee, that the item would then be flagged in the catalog.
Yes.
You know, but we had discussed the possible need of a possible like sticker or something on the actual like material. So if someone were just browsing and happened to come across something, they would, you know, be alerted that this is AI written or contributed or something of that nature. Has there been any determination on that?
No, we've not yet
Okay.
discussed it.
Okay, is that forthcoming or?
It's still
expected?
forthcoming,
Okay,
right?
understood.
There is an issue with labeling. Among the intellectual freedom policies that the American Library Association puts out are really strong policies against labeling,
Okay.
because it can create negative connotations or that kind of thing as the person is reviewing it. So I'll have to go, I think as the discussion moves forward, that policy of ALA will be reviewed as part of the thinking on this. AI is such a new thing, maybe it's a different animal here from,
Right.
for example, labeling R-rated or that kind of thing. So we don't label movies. Obviously the Motion Picture Association has labels and does that, so we don't take those labels off. But we don't add a label. I think back in the day, there are libraries that would put an R rating on DVDs and that kind of thing.
So the way forward, just from my understanding, the way forward is to just align with whatever the ALA.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We don't take ALA hook, line, and sinker. What
Sure.
we do is frankly, the board has adopted some of the ALA intellectual freedom policies. That particular interpretation of the Library Bill of Rights on labeling, I don't think we've specifically adopted that, but we may have. I have to look back at exactly what the board voted on when they voted to adopt the intellectual freedom statements.
Yeah, to support your, it's a best practice right now. It's not really in the freedom of reading that ALA is doctrinally published. But you're right, Mr. Auld thumbnailed that perfectly. There's a barrier to when you label something, and we're just going to have to figure out how we're going to handle it.
But you are going to put a notation in the descriptor.
Yes, there will be another catalog.
Yeah.
Rudy, speaking of that, do you know if in the catalog, if the Motion Picture Association ratings are part of the catalog record?
Yes.
They are.
We enhance the catalogs.
Okay, good.
Thank you for the discussion. I'm sorry to mean to cut things off. Is there any other question or discussion? So we can go ahead and move to the vote. All those in favor of adopting the Freedom to Read policy, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, it passes unanimously. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
So we can move on to the report for the HR and Diversity Committee. All right. Don't have any additional consideration items. Before we adjourn, does anyone have anything else that they wanted to add or mention here? Pretty succinct meeting here. So unless there's anything else pending, we're going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Oh, actually, do I need to make a motion to adjourn, or do I just adjourn? All right, we are done.
Oh, wait. Can I say something?
Sometimes you have to stall.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, you're great.
I wanted to say thank you, and Abby and others were so helpful. So there was a COMAR 13A.05.04 about school librarians. And because of the over 1,000 emails, the Maryland State Board of Education said there was a misinterpretation of that COMAR. And now they are revisiting it. And so we're not quite sure how
they're going to resolve this, but they do feel and they are committed to having one professional certified librarian in each of our public schools. So I want to say thank you to Abby, to Skip, and to all of the board members who responded to that knee-jerk, because I didn't find out until 5 days before public comment was due, and the COMAR had changed several times. So I wasn't aware of the latest revision until 5 days before public comment ended. So thank you so much. And I will be sending Skip and others a SSL, Student Service Learning Hours opportunity for Library Month. I'm working on it now as other things. So I want to just thank the board for your support for school libraries, and we'll be working to support our public libraries as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for that. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Laura. I'm going to turn to our attorney.
No.
Because most everybody may know this, but I'm not quite clear. I think I know what COMAR is. It's the Code of
Maryland Regulations.
Of Maryland Regulations, okay.
And that's not to be confused with the code, the Maryland Annotated Code,
Right.
which is the statutes and laws, and that's separate from the regulations.
And these
COMAR
are-
is always regulations.
Got it. Okay, well, I kind of knew that, but I thought maybe some of the rest of us here.
I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Many people call it all COMAR,
Yeah.
and that's
Right.
really not true.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you for that, Laura. I appreciate that. All right. Barring any other final comments, the agenda is concluded, and so the meeting is adjourned. Awesome. Thank you. So now that we got a little half an hour or so before our 5:30 social, I'm going to need some help just kind of moving food items and beverages and